what happened is my employees start coming to me telling me my taxes went up, therefore my mortgage went up $800. My rent went up $500. The grocery costs went up like crazy, and the inflation is gone, and still grocery cost is super high. I used to go to Austin, when I'm in Austin, let's say I want to buy a watermelon, it used to be $8.99 and here's $6.99. Now here is $8.99 and there's $8.99.
So let me ask you, so what's the difference in the tax bracket for as groceries compared to commercial properties?
So the tax assessor is responsible to assess real property taxes, which means whether this office we are in, how much this real property worth, then it will be taxed on, and something else called business personal property taxes. This one, they tax every business on every machine they have, such as computers, like let's say grocery stores. They tax grocery stores for every checkout machine, for every fridge, every shelf, every stand, everything, every cart. So when you increase the real property taxes on the grocery store that's sitting on large land and increase the business personal property taxes 30%, then the grocery store, whether HEB or Walmart or Sprouts, will pass on this expense to clients. They're not gonna function with loss, you know?
Okay.
So they're gonna pass it on to us, and that's why our grocery bill gone so high. Because like now I go to Houston, I pay $70 for the same 2 bags I buy here for $100.
So tell me, what's the solution? What is
The solution
what is
is
the solution to?
fair property taxes, fair business personal property taxes. If you own a computer, like we printed our shares in a shop, he says I paid 10 times worth of my computer in business personal property taxes in 7 years. That's wrong. Like if I buy the computer for $1,000, $2,000, you're gonna get $8,000 from me in business personal property taxes in a span of 10 years.
So are you saying
This is crazy.
So are you saying that it needs to be a change?
Yes. So we need to reduce taxes by reduce the property assessments to fair, valid market price. We are not Austin, and we can't be our homes and real property can't be assessed like Austin because we don't make money like Austin, and our land and real properties are not valuable or high priced like Austin, because Austin is small and there's no land. Here we keep expanding and we have a lot to expand. Number two, especially grocery stores and restaurants.
Okay.
Especially the poor people food. We need whether to cut it completely, the business personal property tax, or reduce it to the minimum level so people can immediately start feeling the grocery cost went down.
So let me ask you this. So say senior citizen, they tax bracket outweighs the mortgage to their house? The taxes are higher?
Senior citizens, once they are 65, the state of Texas have legislation where when you are 65 and above, they cap your property assessment. So it does not increase, therefore your tax does not increase, therefore your mortgage does not increase. But you're still paying for grocery, whether you are senior or not, whether you are 65, 85, or 18, or 20, whatever your age is. When we all go to grocery store and buy grocery, we all pay the same. And that is higher than usual. And once I take office, I'm gonna reduce the business personal property taxes on grocery stores to the minimum or cut it completely.
So what's your tax cut bracket that you're gonna mostly key on?
So it increased last year 30%. If we cut that increase last year 30%, because it's really unconstitutional.
30%?
Yes. So that's what I'm telling you. I go today to Houston and I buy grocery for $70. The same grocery I buy it in San Antonio, I pay $100.
So do you deal with commercial property taxes too?
Of course.
So who makes the decisions to cut the taxes or not?
The tax assessor.
So
That's why his name is assessor, and that's why he is elected official, because the constitution gave him constitutional and fiduciary duty and authority to do so. Now, unfortunately, we have this new era of something called appraisal district cartels in Texas. Well, every elected official, start throwing, oh, it's not me, the appraisal district. Well, the appraisal district is your make.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. They brainwash people
And
so
they
much.
appraise all the properties.
Right.
And bring them in. I told you before my dad died 2 years ago, he was on the appraisal board down there fighting about the taxes because of the redentification. So the property, the taxes is so high, it's more than the house is value.
Right.
So how do we conquer that?
That's okay. So as I told you, elected officials, especially tax assessor collectors, they are saying and telling everybody and brainwashing all Texans and saying, I don't set property value. The appraisal district. Well, the appraisal district is, the chief appraisal is employee. The board of the appraisal district are employees. And everybody in the appraisal district are employees. The state of Texas acknowledge them as an entity, but they are not state entity. Because when I went to the appraisal district, protest my taxes.
You'll get no exemption.
No, not just that. They tell you we are a state agency, and I like, okay, who's the chief appraisal? Oh, he's appointed by a judge. You can't see him. I want to see the board. Oh, you can't see them. They are appointed by a judge. And all is BS. I have it on video, and it's just so ridiculous. And they brainwash people so much to the level. So many people say, "Oh, tax assessor does not set property taxes." Well, why his name is assessor then? He's not collector. He's assessor collector. So let me explain to you the appraisal district thing. Usually, in the county.
Y'all pay attention now. We're
Yeah.
talking about the taxes on your property, so pay attention.
Yes, so usually the county, sometimes if it's big, they choose to contract out the assessment piece of the tax assessor collector. So usually the most famous entity is appraisal district. However, if a county choose to give it to you, tell you, hey, Webb, I want you to be the appraising and assessing taxes. So it's gonna be named Webb Assessment,
Oh man, you don't want me.
not the appraisal district. So appraisal district at the end of the day is a contract with the tax assessor.
Okay.
The commissioner court build a contract, and it has to be approved and signed off by the tax assessor to go through. Now in 2020, my opponent Albert Uristi said and promised people that I'm gonna absorb the appraisal district and make reforms and correct things. Once he won, nothing happened. From 2020 till today, there is properties value increased over 800%. From last year till this year, there's properties increased from all properties from 30% to 500%. I have land and increased in value from 30% to 500%.
So does the taxes have to do anything with the demographics?
Well,
Where the area you live in, the east side, north side, south side?
even if I don't believe anyone should have taxes increased 500% in 1 year.
So it don't matter where
no matter where you live.
Okay.
This is what you are doing is you are telling this person, leave your property, get out because you can't pay taxes even if you have, and too far. Then it's just they went too far, So in the Constitution, you can't increase a property value more than 10%. And if you do, you are subject to refund. And people
So you gonna give us some refund?
Yes, and people don't understand that because if I get
Y'all hear
elected,
that? Y'all hear that?
yes, if
You
I
hear
get elected and somebody come to me and tell me, hey, my taxes increased more than 10%, which is the state of Texas threshold, you are subject to refund. And if I don't give you a refund, you will be sued. You will have a class action lawsuit against you and against the county. So my responsibility is also to protect our local government from being sued for this cluster happened last year. It just went so far, they thought no one will just stand up and say no. And now they have found some people like myself and all my supporters stood up and say enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
so again, tell them who you are and why you're here today.
My name is Merhi, Hatem Merhi. I'm running for Bexar County Tax Assessor Collector on a platform reduce taxes for all to lower your mortgage, your rent, and the grocery bill. We're gonna reduce taxes for all of us once I take office. I will have the constitutional and fiduciary duty and authority to do so, and I'm gonna do this for all of us.
So when is the last day to vote?
Last day to vote is Tuesday.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, last day in early voting,
voting.
and Tuesday is the primary.
What day is that?
Tuesday is March 5th, and this is very important. There is no general election for this position. Don't think you're gonna go in November to choose. This is it. Tomorrow and March 5th. If you don't vote tomorrow or March 5th, you are out of luck. Don't sit down like my taxes went up.
So don't say you didn't know.
Right, because the taxes is going to go up another
Everybody trying to get their taxes
40%.
now. This is tax time.
That's the funny part. The
Yeah,
tax
tax
is
season.
waiting
Yeah.
till the election end to go up again
So everybody should be
40%.
paying attention since it's tax time anyway, right?
Right.
Okay.
And that's the sad part. They wait till the election end, then they do all the bad decisions.
Well, I didn't know.
Well, guess what? It is going to increase another 40%.
And why?
Right after the elections.
Why is that?
Because they need money, and I have a list of them where we can get so much money from. And instead of the poor people like, hey, tighten your belt, tighten your belt. Well, the belt split off. There is nothing to tighten anymore. People are hungry. You know, there is the homelessness and foreclosures increased 500 to 600%. And it's sad that it's not reflected on the county website accurately. And that's really bothers me.
So that's the tax collector's job?
Yes.
So
So let me explain to you. Even if they are blaming the appraisal district,
okay.
okay? Let's say the appraisal district is the devil here. I'm gonna play the devil advocate. The appraisal district submit the tax roll to the tax office.
Right.
And the tax assessor has to approve the appraisal roll or overrule it. And in some situations, you see this property appraised value 700,000. The tax assessor overrule it and say assessed 500,000. So they pay only on 500,000. So the final say to the tax assessor, period. So now when I get in office, I'm gonna overhaul the whole appraisal district. We're gonna build a deputy assessor's department and have the tax assessor office accountable to the people. We're gonna be transparent and have integrity and be accountable to our people.
Well,
and that's what
well,
is
you
important.
You see what happened with the sheriff's department when Cat Brown got in there. She's up for re-election too, but she put a lot of changes. And that's what you have to do. Either be the change or be part of the change.
That's right. You
Yeah.
know, I will tell you something. When I was a county treasurer in Brewster County, my second day I was there is a stack of checks for refund for hotel motel tax. And I asked my assistant, what is this? And he say, well, the
Oh,
previous
man.
treasurer was this party and those people from this party. So she refunded this party, but did not refund the owners from this party. I told her, no. Call them, this is government. This is not a house of play or whatever it is. Call everyone and bring everyone for an immediate delivery to their checks. It was held for 3 years. And then we have to write a new check
So
because
do
they
you-
all expired.
So do you think we're behind?
Yes.
So you're gonna get in and clean it up?
We have to. We have to. And because of that action, and because of my dedication to work, the district judge appointed me as a county auditor. And those two positions need more experience and higher level than the tax assessor. So I'm willing to lose money in my business and not pay attention to my business to get the job done. This position is not sexy, is not power,
No,
not
none of
no
that.
much power, and it doesn't pay so
You
much.
don't get cursed out and spit on it.
Right, and even doesn't pay so much. So it's
You
not
don't
like
get-
I'm running it
yeah, you
because
don't-
I need a job.
Yeah, you
It's
gonna
not a
get-
job.
You're gonna get all of that.
This is,
you're gonna get all of that.
you know,
So-
my favorite president is Barack Obama, and he
Yeah.
said it before. We believe in change. The change will happen, and I believe in change, and
But you
we
got
can
to be.
change.
But you have to be a man for all the people.
Yes, I
You-
am.
you-
That's why
you-
I just mentioned to you the example
Yeah.
in Brewster County.
Yeah, you have to.
They
be,
hold the checks for for the people from one party,
You gotta be fair.
and gave the checks for people
Yeah.
to people to other
Yeah,
parties.
you have to be a man for all.
I
people.
gave everyone, and it's like this is government, cannot be for Republican or Democrat. This is government for everyone.
So if somebody wanted to reach out to you and ask you some questions, how can they get a hold to you?
You can call our campaign phone number at 210-777-2727. Your lucky number 777. And they can also go to our website voteformerhi.com. voteformerhi.com.
Boy, y'all should have seen him yesterday morning when he pulled up to the Moab Center yesterday morning. Man, his truck, he had flags, big flags hanging off the back and going. He said, Mr. Webb, the wind go. It was windy yesterday, wasn't it? You know, the wind go, I got tied down. But they gonna see it though. You didn't have it parked out there today, huh?
Yes.
It was parked out there. I didn't see it. Yeah, but he had a big, what is that, a Bronco?
No, it's a Suburban.
Oh, big Suburban.
We have 4 Suburbans with the same thing, all flat.
So you gonna hit the neighborhoods this weekend?
We have been hitting the neighborhoods since August,
Been door to door?
driving all over the city.
Yeah, did no door to door knocking?
We did, but not that much.
Not
We did
that
not
much.
like to bother people in their homes and violate their privacy.
Now you got to get out there and get it by all means necessary.
But we sent at least so far
Uh-huh.
3 million messages, text
Okay.
messages, to people, hopefully to understand and to educate people,
Yeah.
whether they want to vote for me or for my opponent who's been in office forever.
Yeah.
And nothing changed other than taxes went up and grocery costs went up. Other than
Yeah.
that, nothing changed. Or they can vote for me, new blood, progressive and ready to change and serve everybody, not just my people or my party.
Right.
You know, so
That's a good idea. You know, everything sounds good. They all say politicians say the same thing.
well, I'm not a career politician.
Yeah.
I'm a businessman.
You hear that? He's
Yes.
not a politician. He's a businessman. See,
I call the job done.
so it's a difference, though.
Yes, I don't go bureaucratic on anything, and
It's more business than the politics.
Yes, this is business.
Right.
This is administration of our government in the tax office, and I'm gonna call the job done. When I used to be in United Nations, we used to get around $2 billion from United States to third world countries, dislocated locations, dislocated populations, and disadvantaged populations, and we used to build them permanent shelters and housing to house them. And here in our own country, we get kicked out our home. The first year you don't pay your taxes.
Yeah, you right.
We
about
become
that.
homeless.
6 months, you out of there. You ain't.
We become
Is
homeless.
is the time frame shorter or longer than 6 months?
It is less than a year. So I will tell you, I have a property in Southtown, very small, little, humble property. The taxes of it was $4,500. Okay, my personal assistant left to California. God bless her, and hopefully she's doing well. And I was alone by like 6-7 months till I hired my second personal assistant. July, suddenly I receive a letter from the tax office saying, hey, you owe $13,000. You did not pay taxes. Like, whoa! From $4,500 to $13,000. Fees, penalties, you name
Oh,
it.
yeah. Oh,
Interest.
Oh, yeah.
1 month later, I was like, okay, I need to get something. And then on my desk, it's like this stacks of paperwork. When I got my assistant in August, she said, oh, we have a lawsuit from a lawyer for that property.
So
you have."
people get in those situations too?
Yeah, everyone, every single one.
Jesus Christ.
I got sued because that property, I was like, you are sued, and I have a court date. I was like, geez. I told her, call the lawyer. We have 3 lawyers. She called the lawyer, gave him the paperwork, and he took care of it with the other lawyer and paid the taxes, and we ended up paying $18,000 on a taxes was 4,500.
So how
because I forgot. What about the people who don't have 4,500?
So how often does that happen?
Very often. Look at the map.
Mm-hmm.
I have it in my website. There is so much evictions and foreclosures, and it's sad. One of the precinct chairs of the Democratic Party, her taxes, she was short in her taxes $450. She is sued now, and she has to pay $3,700. 500-600%. And then that's not done yet. Once she goes and try to pay it, they're gonna charge her $2,500 lawyer fees. And then if she doesn't do that, guess what? They're gonna foreclose on her house and kick her out of her house. She's out of luck because she's not 65 yet.
Well,
She's right there, but not there.
This audience right here, I think you need to get with them and tell them how important it is about catching up and not getting behind on your taxes.
But well, let me tell you one other thing. So many counties, and one of them, Brewster County, they will not foreclose on you immediately.
Is that what you're going to try to do with Bath County?
Yes. They will give you, in Brewster County, 5 years. After 5 years, they start the foreclosure, the fees, all that.
But they give you ample time.
Ample 5 years.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, especially after COVID, people are unable to make money.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? Or go rob people?
Yeah.
Go steal money? I can't. I'm working and I can't pay enough. What do I do?
Man.
So we have to have a help from the government. The same way we are helping our immigrants from the borders and
Right.
housing them,
They should be
they're
doing
gonna
that.
have to help us as their citizens.
Taxpayers.
And this is where I'm going in place. And I have tax initiatives will not affect the government functionality or the government
So
funding.
what's the initiatives?
Those initiatives, as I told you, number one, we will have help from the federal government because this county never asked, the tax assessor office here never asked the federal government for help, not once. I'm gonna have 4 grant writers in new positions get money from the federal government for people who cannot pay their taxes to help them out. Instead of go and spend so much money in affordable housing and get this, it's such a long process. Get you evicted and ruin your credit, then you go through affordable housing, and through all this you are homeless. Or you move back in with your grandfather and or father because they are 65 and above. You know? And we're gonna have a list of substitution. When I don't take from you that much of taxes, we're gonna have a deficit. We have a list where we're gonna offset that deficit from.
So all the
But I will give you one example, very simple example. There's a large building in the city, over 20 floors. They pay taxes less than my own house. Right.
That's the sad part.
Yeah.
You know.
This
And that's
is
what
gonna,
we fight
it's
so
gonna
hard
stop.
about.
Everybody gonna have a fair play. Everybody, we're gonna lower taxes for all and fairly, and each one of us will pay the same based on their properties. I can't have a 20 floor large building paying taxes less than my own house.
Amen. Amen.
This is
I'm
wrong.
I'm all for that.
This is wrong.
That's my all for that. Like I tell you, you know, the land and taxes is higher than what the house is worth nowadays.
Yes.
You know, and is that north, east, south, east, west, the whole city? The
Well,
whole
I have a
county?
list. I have a list. It's all over the place. So
Oh,
this
my
list will
God.
be sad. Okay. The first thing I would like to do is sit with all elected officials, especially the commissioners and county judge, and have a talk and see if we can collaborate. And I believe we can, because I believe they care for people like I care for people. I hope so,
Yeah.
but I believe. So far, I believe. And then
So when you say the judge, you mean like
county
Peter
judge.
Scalia and
Yes.
Tommy Calvert and Miss Flores and them?
whoever, I don't really know who are the commissioners.
Okay.
I know Sakaya is the county judge. You just
Right.
mentioned it rang a bell, but we're gonna sit together and tell them here is what's happening with people. Here is the true data that has been hidden from you. Here is those lists, and we need to do something. I believe. I used to be in United Nations, and I used to be still diplomatic person, and I think we can reach a solution to help our community, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
This is our community. Those are our families. Those are our brothers and
Yeah.
sisters.
Grandmas and
Right.
women, all. Yeah.
And I don't believe any of them will reject any reasonable idea. So I think we will collaborate and help people right away. If I have opposition, if I have some special interest step on my way, then I'm gonna take over and do what the law allows me to do.
Okay, again, tell them who you are and what you're doing.
My name is Merhi, running for Bexar County Tax Assessor Collector. Last day of early voting tomorrow, and election day, the primary is March 5th on Tuesday. No general for this position, that's it. And this is a change we can all believe in. Just go and vote.
So how many voting locations are there in this
There is a
election?
link in my website, show the voting locations. You hit the link and you go to the nearest voting location next around your house or around your place. Now, if we don't go so far, out of 1.2 million registered voter in Bexar County, we
Million
have
votes?
only 50,000 people voted.
In any mail-in votes? Did
Yes,
they do
with
that
mailing
too?
votes and all of that, around 50,000. And you know what? Those 50,000 people gonna control 1.2 million registered voters' life. So every registered voter need to get out and vote, or 50,000, very little minority, will control everyone's life. And I don't believe this is correct. We need all to do our duty and go and vote.
Well, good to talk with you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
all
much.
the information. Y'all reach out to my man if you want to get your taxes lower, you want to find out more information. Mr. Hodge sounds like a great man. Know about business, and that's more than politics, to know the business of why things happen. So peace, love, and hand grease to you. Get your vote in. Webb, probably more Street Talk Podcast Show, another episode. Have a blessed night.
I want to add one thing. There
Go
is
ahead.
41 early voting locations, and it's on my website. If you hit the link, you will see. And each one of us has a voting location right next to them, like within 2 miles. And it's from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
8 to 8,
Tomorrow, Friday,
is the
8
last day for the
early voting.
Early voting.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 41 early voting
So what
locations.
time do the polls open on Tuesday?
Tuesday open at 7 a.m.
7
till
a.m.
7 p.m.
7 to 7 Tuesday. You vote Tuesday.
And tomorrow 8 to 8.
8 to 8. Have a blessed night.